Watch the Game podcast. It's your man L.A. Cheatham.
Benjamin Banneker. What's up, good people? What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? It's the
What's
rain
up
bear
tonight?
down in the house.
What's
Yeah.
happening? What's happening? Hey, look, for you, all you people gonna join us tonight, we're doing something a little different here. Watch the Game podcast. We have the pleasure of bringing on our first guest. He's part of a group of guys that I've been referencing for a minute here on the podcast. One of the tailor-made boys, my main man, String.
Yo.
What's going on, man?
I finally made the scene, man. Hey, welcome everybody. I'm glad to be welcome to the club, and I'm glad to be able to put my my additions to this live because we all got something to say, and I'm gonna say my piece, but I'm sure y'all gonna say y'all.
Oh yeah, we've been doing it for a while. We're gonna have some fun. I want to bring people up to speed. Now, as we are live tonight, my man Penn, we go back a while, and this is Penn's first opportunity to meet String on live on the show. This is as organic as it can get.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
can't get no more organic than this.
hey,
Like, what
and
up,
then,
brother? You know what I'm
and
saying?
then I'm
Power
gonna
to the
tell
people,
you
boy.
this. I'm gonna kick it all in for you. Now, you guys have the distinction of being Capricorns because Penn's birthday was on the 11th
Last
of
Wednesday.
January,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and String's birthday is on the 13th.
On the 13th. Yep. So mine was that
See?
Friday. Yeah.
Can you feel the chemistry?
Hey, Capricorns in the house.
Let me just tell you, I just recovered from being chocolate wasted. Okay, I don't know what happened, but it was a lot of something brown in my cup. It was a lot of it, excessive amounts of it, because hey, I got water tonight. It's excessive amounts of it, so I'm trying to get it back together. And definitely,
Yeah. That's what I said. That's what I said. Excuse me, I done finished my water glass. There wasn't no drinking here. This is water right here.
You see it.
Yeah, this is water right here.
Yeah,
This wasn't no drink. This was water.
Well, I always keep something brown around. I always keep something brown around.
Hey.
Point blank.
Now I can move to the other side, but I'm for my first live,
Yeah.
I want to make sure, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. To get you caught up on things, but I want to bring that to you guys' attention. Birthdays 2 days apart. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of chemistry we building here. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast. We're gonna be bringing on people, further down the road.
Thank
But
you, brother.
one thing,
Thank you for welcoming me to the podcast. I appreciate that. Thank you for allowing me to join you brothers in this whole bunch of sports conversation that we got to get into.
oh yeah, for
I
sure,
appreciate the welcome, the warm
for
welcome.
sure, yeah. Sports, and sometimes we may get off to some. You just never know where it's gonna go. We're gonna have a good time.
Say we never know where it's gonna go, huh?
We never know, man. But we base it around sports. I mean, but we live life, we experience life, and things happen.
Right.
We talk about it.
Right.
But we have the distinction and one thing in common is we're all Bear fans. I mean, that's one of the qualifications. That's one of the qualifications on being on the show.
Right.
And as of right now, I told Penn that when we brought on our first guest, we wanted it to be after a victory. Unfortunately, We only had 3 of those this
Yeah.
season. And I believe
That's
the
what I
Bears
told
went
my
on.
brother. Hey man, we were the best high school team in the state. You
Yeah,
line up against 6A, 5A. We was the best high school team in the state.
yeah. Um, okay. A couple things, man. I it's only a few people that I had the pleasure of going to a Bears football game with. And
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
Taylor Made boys,
Yeah.
and of course my man Penn. Penn, my he's my relative. I mean, for years. I mean, that's what we do, man. But other than my dad taking me to my first Bears game, the only other people I went to a Bears game was you and your brothers and fam here, Benjamin Banker.
And we
So
froze out there on Sunday night, but we good.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good stuff right there.
well,
That's how you
that
know.
was
That's how you know it's real. You know what I'm
it,
saying? That's how you know it's real.
and that was the year that the Bears went to the Super Bowl. That's the last time me and Penn had the privilege of enjoying the game together. I think it was a Sunday night game. Yeah, it was a Sunday night game. The year that the Bears ended up going to the Super
That
Bowl.
2006.
Yep, versus the
Yeah,
Seahawks.
playing up against the Seahawks, which his old high school basketball teammate. I'm going to allow you to elaborate on that, Penn.
Yeah, so my good buddy, Big Rob Sims, he was I think that was like his second or third year in the league. He went on ahead and blessed us and hooked us up with some tickets. We had to sit in the Seahawks section, but you know
Oh yeah, that happens
hey,
sometimes.
we were still for
That
the
happens
Bears.
sometimes.
We were still for the Bears though, so it was cool.
Right,
It was Sunday night game.
right.
See the Madden Cruiser.
When you do that, that's when you gotta wear your orange jersey. Make sure you represent. Make sure, hey, you know what I'm about.
Yeah, you know, the game wasn't even close. It was 37-6, so they ain't bother us too much. So, but yeah, we definitely represented when we went and then hollered at him after the game, took pictures, you know, saw John Madden. It was cool. It was dope. It was just cold. But it was a good experience. And I ain't been back to Soldier Field since then because I done already told everybody I'm not going to Soldier Field or Bears, Illinois, wherever we about to play. Well, we can go out to Arlington because it's gonna have a dome on it, so we can go there.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's gonna be cold. That yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's about that time to be cold too.
so the last Bear game I had the opportunity to attend was at Soldier Field, and that was with my man Starang and the Taylor Made boys. Uh, the ever accommodating Stephen Taylor
Yeah,
and
Stephen
Jeezy
Taylor was
Taylor.
involved. Well, I
But
think that was probably about October though.
yeah, October. I
Yeah,
think it was. I want to say it was 2016. It was the first. It was Jordan Howard's first start at running back against the Detroit Lions. We had some damn good seats too, man. I think we
great
was
seat.
like, yeah, we was behind.
And we went to the training camp before we
Oh,
went, yeah, we went to that
oh
training
yeah,
camp too,
we
so
went.
we knew what we had to look for.
Yeah, we went to training camp twice. If you remember, we went to training camp twice
To Bear
and
Burnett.
checked them out. Uh, when John Fox was the coach,
Yeah, that's
we
Bear
went to
Burnett.
training camp a couple
Yeah.
times. I think we went 2 years in a row. And that's just a perfect segue into tonight's into tonight's show because our Bears are under construction. Uh,
Yeah,
one thing,
yeah,
one thing I want to point out that has been one of the narratives over the years was that the Bears, for whatever reason, as well as other NFL teams, when you talk about the black quarterback or whatever, but the narrative was our Bears were racist, and and the thing about it is, me and you talked about this before, Strang.
yeah. Because we went all back to Bob Evans and back in
Vince
the
Evans,
'70s. Like,
yeah,
come on, man.
Vince Evans
Vince Evans,
being
Vince Evans. I
Vince
said Bob
Evans
Evans, Vince Evans.
being making me hungry, bro. Uh, Vin, Vin,
some sausage. Get some
Vince
breakfast
Vince
time.
Vince Evans was drafted in 1977. Now, up to this point, Justin Fields is I guess he's the face of the franchise quarterback, you might say. But up until before then, we've had seven, I want to say 6 or 7 black quarterbacks, going all the way back to starting with Willie Thrower, and then a whole host of other guys have an opportunity to play quarterback for the
Yeah,
Chicago Bears. Black guys.
Cordell Stewart.
Jason
Yep.
Campbell, Henry
You
Burris.
know, he
Yep.
gave him a year.
Yep. But now we bring it to the current day. General manager Ryan Poles, black guy, black man. And just recently the Bears have went out and the new CEO, president and CEO will be a black man. Kevin Warren, uh, the Big Ten commissioner. So that narrative has to be dead, at least in Chicago.
Well, I never really, for a minute I thought it might have been that, you know, but when I really thought about it, like I never really thought about it like as in the Bears being a racist team where they just didn't want, you know, a black quarterback. I just looked at it as they couldn't pick a quarterback,
Right.
you know. So now if I look at it as that narrative is dead now, like I told you, if it is dead, I think they got a stick in her back and she's propped up and with a smile drawn on her face. That's what I'm.
Talking about Virginia,
Yeah,
talking about
Yeah,
Virginia
yeah,
McCaskey.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
She
yeah.
has nothing else to say about the team because
Um,
because apparently the younger son, because Mike passed, rest in peace. The younger one,
George.
he has control now.
Yeah.
So I figure like he's like, look, we go in a different direction, and that different direction has to be the Negro because everybody else figured out the Negro is where it's at. No, I'm just keeping it real, bro.
well,
Every other team to figure out, hey, the Negro is where it's at.
well, I mean, in our present day, when you think about a lot of the social justice stuff going on, but we can't forget that Lovie Smith was the coach at one point and took the Bears to the Super Bowl that year, and was had the
Now
opportunity to competing against another black
that's a good
coach.
question I got to ask you, brothers, too.
Yes, that.
Why did you think they let him go?
Me
Yeah,
personally, before 2018, that was the last time the Bears had won 10 games prior to 2018. I forget what Lovey's, I guess it was
Because wasn't he
2008.
was like 13-3 when they let him go, right?
No, he was
Tennessee.
he was 10-6.
He was 10-6,
It,
ten and
and he
six,
didn't make the playoffs. And I think at that
which was
time,
whack.
Lovey,
That was whack.
yeah, because I mean, most of the times you would make the playoffs in that situation. But I think it was Lovey gaining control of the organization, and just I think they kind of grew sour on each other. The whole relationship. I think a lot of things at that time kind of grew sour, and he was getting a little bit too much control of the organization,
And
and I think that's why they got rid of him.
you got to remember too. Lovey was there. I think he had 9 seasons.
Dawson said, "What you think on what you
Yeah.
think on this one, brother?"
So Lovey was there 9 years, if I recall correctly. He was almost a decade, and it had got to the point. I didn't feel like Lovey was assuming control. I know the players love Lovey, but I started to feel like towards the end, Lovey was just like a figurehead because I don't think Lovey really wanted to play Rex Grossman. If y'all remember that, Rex is our quarterback. We had to hear that every week. That was coming from top down, which let me know that
Yeah,
Lovey was not in charge of that football team.
Yeah.
Uh,
That Rex Grossman is our quarterback.
And even take it to Cedric Benson. Cedric Benson came in high draft pick. We had Thomas
Knowing we
Jones.
should not have drafted him.
We had Thomas Jones, and Thomas Jones was doing his thing at that time, but we had to play both of those guys. And you could argue they cost us the Super Bowl, probably cost us, fractionated the team a little bit. I know the defense loved Lovey, but the fan base, the media pressure, the Bears was only scoring 13, 14 points a game. It wasn't sexy how Lovey was winning. And lo and behold, before that, Matt Nagy came and
you know what?
In the 13-3, that was the
best.
That's
cool that you just said that. Now, how you just said it, it wasn't sexy the way he was winning, because around that time, the offensive was taking over. It was all about offense. It wasn't about defense. So, like you just said, they want that sexy offense, but Lovey was winning with defense.
It wasn't good enough, Kyle Orton, to go out there and win 14-10. That wasn't. And remember, I don't know if you remember, you had receivers like Moose and Muhammad complaining about.
And that was my man.
The ball.
Hey, possession receiver every time. You need 7 yards, he got it. You need 9 yards, he got it.
Exactly. But it wasn't sexy, though.
No, it wasn't sexy. You're right. You're right.
And then you get. I think Lovey had gained a little bit too much control of the organization. Because Lovey was, I forget who the general manager was, but Lovey was part of the process of hiring a general manager. And it's got to be a problem there already when the head coach has some say-so on who the general manager is. That's a lot of power. And I just think.
Well, I don't know, because your boy doing pretty good over there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but we're talking about 10 years ago, and then 10 years ago or whatever, and then you're talking about a team that hadn't made the playoffs. Now, had the Bears made the playoffs that season, Lovey probably would have got another 2 years out of the Bears. But the biggest part of the frustration was, I believe he didn't make the playoffs, and he had a little bit too much control. And I just think the relationships around the franchise concerning Lovey was souring, and this was the time to get rid of him because they didn't make the playoffs. That was your scapegoat. But
I think it was, honestly, I think it was some politics involved in that too.
That too.
Because you got to remember the Ricketts family had just moved into town buying the Cubs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think it was some politics involved in that too.
And Rain, to your point, when you brought up Mike Tomlin with the Steelers, that family, they run that organization. They don't give a damn what the outside people. They done had 3 coaches, I think, in the last 50 years: Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. Like, they don't care.
They only had 4 coaches.
Exactly.
3 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's the last 50 years. And, and that's what happened when you got strong leadership in place. I mean, Mike Tomlin still ain't had a losing season. He been there 15 years.
Yeah.
When Lovey wasn't playing that sexy football, that's when the Ricketts family came to town and they bought the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
And the daddy, he was what can I say? A conservative Republican. I'll just say like that.
See what I'm saying? That's why this is why you here. That's all I can say. This is why you're here, so you can bring that other element of conversation and perspective. But when you talk about Tomlin is in the same situation now that Lovey was in when he got fired, because Tomlin had a winning season, didn't make the playoffs. So Lovey was in that same situation. He wasn't as successful as Tomlin, don't get me wrong. But he had a winning season, and he got fired after 10-6 season. Now, like I said, it was just a lot of relationships going sour. You guys say some politics. But the reason why I brought us to this point was because when we talked about our experiences of going to games, and stuff like that. And now we're talking about the way the franchise is going, the involvement of the African American quarterback, coach, now general manager, now team
Yeah,
president.
yeah, yeah,
And what's going to change based around this, especially with the hiring of Karen Warren, is our experience as football fans is going to change around this franchise. When you talk about taking the opportunity to go and watch our Chicago Bears play, string. Me and you, we talked about this a few days ago, and I think me and you, we talked about it as well, Penn. But the experience of going to watch a Bear game is no longer going to be a 1 day event. This just what I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
It's gonna be
believe it's going to
completely
be a
different
two
now.
day, maybe even 3 day event. Meaning, when they do this deal and get this thing done in Arlington Heights, you're going to have to, if you your first couple trips to the new stadium, you probably want to go. Depending on how long your money is, don't get me wrong. So you probably going to want to have to go down on Saturday, get a room, take in the festivities, the atmosphere, and enjoy the game on Sunday afternoon. Okay, maybe even Friday, depending on depending on how long your money
How
is.
long the money
Um,
is, yeah, because
eh,
that Friday sound even better.
yeah,
Especially if you're coming in from out of town.
hey, I mean, hell, I'm
Well,
we 40.
I mean, all us, we like 40 minutes away from it.
Right.
So, you
But
know,
you got to think about like these fan bases. It's pissing me off like how many like road teams have like a significant amount of fans in these stadiums now. Like this, so you got to think Dallas, they travel well. Green Bay, they travel well. Pittsburgh, like they probably coming in on Friday. Let's go to this big city and make a weekend out of
yeah,
it.
yeah. But I mean, Chicago, we travel well too, though.
Yeah, yeah.
We travel pretty well, you know.
I mean, but this is what I'm getting to. We talk about the out of towners, whatever, but the thing is, just for the locals,
Yeah.
the Northwest Indiana fan, the South Suburban fan, you're gonna go to this game. You're gonna go to a game, and sometimes you might find yourself, hey, let's go down on Friday night. Let's go down on Saturday morning so we can kick it all day Saturday. Because I think it's just gonna be a totally new experience when you talk about Bears football and just going to a game. I mean, you got your tailgaters that get out on Sunday morning, but it's going to be so much more than that. It's going to be Wrigleyville, like the Wrigleyville atmosphere on Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
into Saturday nights. And
Yeah.
then Sunday mornings, you get into your traditional tailgates. And
And you
then,
know what I call
it's
Wrigleyville, tank tops and flip flops.
so you get my drill. I mean, when you talk about the preseason experience, the exhibition experience, it's going to kick off right there. So you're going to get some tank tops and flip flops in the month of August and September, however long that the weather permits it. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to be a totally different experience for the Bear fan. The franchise going into this modern way of NFL, and I'm just hopefully, God willing, we'll all be here to
And then
enjoy
they,
it
they're
because
gonna build some hotels. They're gonna build
All
some
that,
casinos.
all that, all that stuff.
They gonna do it up.
Yeah.
They
and
gonna do it big.
And that's what I'm getting to. And you ain't gonna be able to just go down there and go to the game and turn right back around and come home. You're not gonna do it. It's if your money long, you're gonna be there long. You're gonna be there for a while.
Right.
You're gonna make a trip out of it. And
Right.
we spoke on it, just like going up to Gurney for those people in our listening area that's familiar with the Great America Six Flags experience. You're not going to go to Arlington Heights and just turn right back around. So you're gonna probably go on Saturday, go on Friday, go on Saturday, enjoy the festivities. Now, once you do that once or twice, you might be able to go and turn right back around. Don't get me
Right.
wrong,
But
but
you know,
uh,
but then when you live in the city or in the Chicagoland area, it it'll make it worse because if your money long, you might make it stretch even a little more longer. You know what I'm saying? Because you right here. Right?
yeah,
You know what? I,
yeah.
I can stay another night. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
you just hit it on the head. You go to the casino and hit for some money. Hey,
you
that might
know,
extend you another couple days. Um, so I want to
what
touch
y'all
on
gonna do about this team though?
this. What I'm
What are
getting to.
y'all gonna do about this Justin Fields ran team? Justin Fields is our quarterback. That's what I believe.
Okay, I'm gonna get to that
I
too.
truly believe that.
I'm gonna get to that too. But the most recent was the whole Kevin Warren deal, and we talked about our experiences going to games, and I just wanted to talk about that. But that's
Now
interesting.
you know,
Now,
like you
what's your
talked about.
opinion
I
on it?
think they
Because me and
brought in
Penn got an
Kevin Warren
opinion
just
on
for.
Justin. Say that
I think
again.
they brought in Kevin Warren just to, you know, like remember you saying just to get the money right in Arlington.
Short term, I think so. Short term, I think so. Just to touch back on his background a little bit. He was in St. Louis when the Rams won the Super Bowl.
Mm.
He had a lot to do with Minnesota building their stadium in Minnesota.
And, and
And
and he brought the Super Bowl to that stadium
Yep.
in
yeah,
Minnesota.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Now
I mean,
you doing pretty
these
good. You bring a Super Bowl to Minnesota in goddamn February.
you're right. And these are some of the things that's been discussed over the years in the city of Chicago. Super Bowls, Final Fours, stuff like that. Just a whole, a whole different entertainment perspective. But just to touch back on him a little bit. So he did the thing in Minnesota, but he got his start. Got his start. He was Chris Zurge's Chris Zurge was his first client as he was an agent, and Chris Zurge was his first client, and he spent
Oh
a lot of
really?
time around the
He
Bears
was he
organization.
was his first.
Yeah, Chris Zurge
George was
was.
his. Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't. Okay, I didn't
yeah,
know that.
and that was his first client. I don't want to go into the whole story, but Chris Zorich had some interesting things to say about him. And then, no matter, there's a lot of people around. They always saying a lot of good things about the guy. The only negative things that I'm hearing is that the Big Ten, him being the Big Ten commissioner, is like they like a lot of negative with them. Like they happy to see him leave as the commissioner. I mean, that's all the negativity I've heard about it, but um, that's just to look forward to what our experiences can be as Bear fans
But
going to games.
when you think about that, like, okay, as he the commissioner. Okay, now the Big Ten is now what is it? The Big 16 now. It ain't the Big Ten
14,
no more.
14, 14.
14,
Well,
Yeah.
Penn can tell you that.
yeah,
So
14 teams and USC and UCLA coming in
yeah, so
2 years.
he was able to bring all this extra revenue to this Power Five section. Now that can be a bad thing. If you're able to do something like that, you can't look at that as a negative thing. You had to be doing something right. You had to be
Most
willing and dealing somewhere.
most definitely. But who knows what the relationships were with what like how many teams in the Big Ten? Was it 14, 15?
Yeah,
So
I
you
don't
got
even know now. I thought it was like 12. I don't know how many it is now.
all those different relationships, and you got to think about it. You got 14 different presidents of universities that you got to keep happy. Everyone's not going to be happy. So it's got to be a stressful situation for him to be in when it's talking about. I mean, we on the outside, we can see the revenue, the streams of revenue as far as the adding the Big Ten, adding the teams to the Big Ten, and like the UCLA and the USC coming in soon.
And
He's a big part of
that's
that.
good money coming in.
And he just secured that new TV deal with CBS, Fox, and one other network. I think it was like it was like billions of dollars for
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good money coming in
yeah.
now.
yeah. Um, like I say, you got to please 14 different people, and that's not easy to do. And I mean, we can look at the numbers, and some people may think they could have got more. I mean, think about. I
Hey,
mean, we talk about money. I mean, as successful as we think it was, it's probably somebody in that group that probably didn't get what they wanted. So, for whatever reason, there's the allegations or the alleged that there's some people that's happy to see him leave the Big Ten.
no, I
Now,
haven't heard anything negative. Have y'all brothers heard anything? I haven't heard
that's
anything
all I've
negative.
heard.
No,
That's all I've heard.
my man Steve Dace, a big Michigan supporter, he has a podcast on YouTube, and he was happy. He was happy to see him go. I didn't agree with him, but he
He
was
was
very
happy to see him go, though.
he was happy to see him go. And I'm just like, he was only here for 4 years. And you look what he did. Like I just said, he just got that new TV deal, which is more money that they can pour into the conference and to support the ancillary sports programs, because we know football is king, and then basketball is paying bills too. But you got to think that money is trickling down to the golf team, the swim team, the wrestling team, all these non-revenue sports.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
people kind of get
Because I mean, all these colleges know that football money is paying for the rest of
putting buildings
for the
on
rest
campus
of
and everything. Yeah,
they paying for their volleyball and their softball. That's what that football money paying for that.
right.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, 14 different guys, 14 different people you trying to keep happy. It's got to be stressful, and that might be one of the reasons he's getting out of there and coming with the Bears. And when I looked at the press conference, he just sees it as an opportunity. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, Penn, but I mean, maybe you'll have some time and you could check in on the press conference yourself. But Starang here, he thinks that he won. He definitely won the press conference,
I
like
think
we
he won.
always
I
say.
think he won it.
He won the press conference.
And from what I read, that's what they said. It sounded like when he walked in, everybody knew, like, yo, this the guy in charge. And they weren't getting that feeling before from Ted Phillips. And notably, Ted Phillips has come out and said, yo, I'm really not a football guy. I'm a football fan. And I don't know if Kevin Warren is a football guy, but he understands the business of football.
The business of it, right, the business part.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe they brought him in, just like we was talking about that stadium and all that, just for that business part. And once that's done, he gonna move on to his next venture.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's how I look at it too. He may not be here long. He may be here long enough to get the deal done. And I mean, I think he's 59 years old. I mean, how much more
I
stress you
mean,
want to
look
put
how
on
long
yourself?
Phillips was here, what, like 20 years?
No,
What did
Yeah,
we
something
get
like
done?
27 years or something like that.
What did
But
we get done? The bullshit ass stadium.
yeah, I mean, what they call it, I
the
forgot what they
mistake by
call
the lake.
Soldier Field.
The
They're
mistake.
like
Yeah.
The mistake on the lake.
yeah, but basically, yeah.
Uh, but it is what it is. We ain't here to he's about to retire. I don't want to. We're gonna leave him. I mean,
So they leave him
we
be
we done with Ted Phillips.
and
A lot
don't be
a
the
lot of
dead
people
horse,
didn't
huh?
know.
We ain't gonna be
A
the
lot of
dead horse.
people didn't know if he was making football decisions or business decisions. A lot of people were confused on exactly what his role was, what his job was. But in the nut and the shell of it is he saved the McCaskies a lot of money. He made the McCaskies a lot of money. He made the family money. Now, when you go to this, it's time for Kevin Warren to take over. And then we're gonna touch on something that you wanted to get into real soon. But let me see here. We got so Kevin Warren strikes the deal with UCLA, USC to come to the Big Ten. But I believe the controversy and the displeasures that a lot of people in the Big Ten had with him was how he handled the COVID situation.
Oh,
Because,
really?
because if you remember, Penn is a big Michigan fan, and I'm a college football fan, and I believe you are too. But if you remember that season, the COVID year, The SEC got started up on time. I think all the other major conferences got going, and the Big Ten was like sitting still and not playing. Because you
Yeah,
remember,
they started last, didn't they?
Them
yeah, see,
12.
because Ohio State got in the college football playoff and they had only played 6 games. They went like
Right.
6-0
People
with
was
Justin
upset about
Fields.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence at that time were college football players, the two of the top quarterbacks in college football, and they were trying to get the games played. Well, the Big Ten was the last team, the last conference to get going, the last of the Power Five conference to get going, I believe. And I think he took a lot of heat for that because they weren't playing and the other teams were. That's what I believe. But he had the opportunity to work with Justin Fields in some sort of way at that time. And it's ironic that now, years later, Justin Fields is the quarterback of the Chicago Bears. Here comes Kevin Warren, going to be the president of the Chicago Bears. So now we get to touch on your opinion, because I believe I know what Penn's opinion is. First pick in the draft.
Well, hold on. Let me see what Penn opinion is. Hold on first.
Okay, go
Hold on.
ahead. On Justin Fields, uh, the quarterback situation with Justin Fields. How you feel about that,
Well,
Penn?
you know, I said after week, what was that, 4 or 5 after we lost to the Giants? It was early in the season. I said, Justin is our guy. We just need to get him some help. I said that very early on in the season. So all this noise they talking about, maybe we should look at C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. I've been off of that way, way long ago. I think since we got the first pick, this team is talent deprived. So what you need to do, you need to trade that pick and get more picks. I think
Bro,
that's the best.
see, you're a Bear fan.
Yeah.
See, you're a Bear fan. Because any Bear fan already know that. We got so much money and we got that first pick. That first pick gotta go. I don't even want that first pick.
Because we could trade the first pick and
Let
probably
that
get
go.
3 more in the first round.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Let that first pick go. We ain't even worried about that. Let's go
So,
ahead and give us some more. Matter of fact, who need a quarterback? Somebody need a quarterback. And
well,
they need to be
Houston,
ahead of us.
Indianapolis,
Yeah. You know,
Seattle. I
all
don't
them
know the
guys,
draft
they
order,
need quarterbacks. So
but
hey,
those teams do
okay,
need
where you at?
quarterbacks.
We're going ahead and give you this first pick. But you know what you gotta give us? The house
Man,
and the
look,
kitchen sink.
look what San Francisco gave up for Trey Lance. And he wasn't even the number one pick.
Oh my God, Trey Lance, boy.
Man,
I
listen.
feel sorry for that guy though, man. We heard him. We heard him. And the
Listen.
Bears did that, but
Whoever wants to pick, if Atlanta wants to pick, listen, I need a Deion Sanders jersey. I need Magic City. I'm coming for everything for this first pick. I need it all.
that's what I'm saying. I want the kitchen sink. I want your water heater. I want your dryer. I want everything.
Dominique Wilkins, I want everything.
Dominic Wilkins. Right. I want
So,
everything.
so, so
Yeah,
we
you
all
got
sold on
to throw
Justin.
Sidney Moncrief in there too. Man. He still doing throw Sidney Moncrief in there. I want him too.
So we sold on Justin as the franchise quarterback right now.
Yeah, man, he my
Yeah.
quarterback. He
Okay.
is my quarterback.
All right.
Justin
So
Fields, I'll hit you with the Lovey Smith. Justin Fields is our quarterback.
yeah, I agree. I agree with you both that Justin is the answer right now because there's so much more, so many other holes to be filled on this team. And I posed the question to both of you guys. Okay, the Bears win 3 games this season with Justin Fields. How many games they win without Justin Fields?
One.
0.
I'm gonna
Okay,
say
so
If you tell me Nathan Peterman had to line up every day, no. I'll say
and
you know what? P and I give you. I say 1, 2, 1.
one. Because
One.
you play 17 games, you might catch a team that's got a lot of
I'll give you
players
one.
on the injury report. One bad bounce here, there, and we'll get one. But yes, one game.
So it is pretty evident that he is the guy. He's responsible for all of the success this season. Uh, when you win and you traded away Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith, the writing was on the wall. Then you go into the Washington game. This was the first game. They didn't win that game, but this was after like that mini bye week they had, and they kind of a mini bye week.
That was the
They
short.
went,
That
yeah,
the
yeah,
mini bye week was when they came back and beat the Patriots.
okay.
Them
But
too.
just
I
before,
love it.
like you could see that Luke Getzey was changing the offense around when they played Washington. They just weren't able to get in the end zone. I mean, Justin blew a couple throws. I think he blew a big. I mean, he just blew one
Yeah,
down in the red zone. He threw a pick down in the red zone. If you remember that game, the Washington game, the Thursday night game, and then you right, Penn, because I think after that they had like 12 days off, and
yeah.
they were able to come back and beat New England, which had ended up being the last victory of the season at that time. And you
I got a
saw,
question for you guys.
guess what?
When you think when they decided to let go Quinn and Roquan, do you think that was to clear the books, to get money off the books? Or do you think that was because they don't feel like they was playing up to their potential?
Well, I think Robert Quinn, I know he was up there in age. I think he was like 32, 33. Even though he was still being productive, it wasn't like the year he had last year. But you got to think Khalil Mack wasn't here. So, them two on the edges, it was
Yeah,
you could
I
focus.
mean Mac kind of made, right, like you said, Mac kind of made him better than
Right. If
you know.
Mac in double teams, then somebody got to be free. And so I think he was 32. I don't even think it was about a payday, and he came into it knowing it was a business. I think he knew he wasn't part of the Bears' future. I think Roquan's situation, I think they wanted Roquan, but Roquan overpriced himself.
You wanted to, yeah, you
He ain't
wanted
have
too
no
much money,
agent, and
and
he just
I would agree with you fully.
more.
I think they use Roquan like, you know what, you doing too much, bro. First of all, I think they walked into the office with him like, look, we do this all the time. Now we said you don't sit at this table. We negotiate for a living. And now you sitting here with your mama trying to tell us what we need to give you. No, no, you gotta go.
I believe that, like I said, if Roquan had an agent, he'd still be in Chicago.
Me
Um,
too. Me too.
but he did get traded to the Ravens, and he did get his money. Now, my thing is with Roquan, I feel the same way. I think they wanted to keep Roquan, but the negotiations got difficult. I think Robert Quinn was a salary dump of some sort, to kind of have cap space or to build on what they had as far as money going into the future. Roquan is just a tough negotiation, and he ends up getting his money in with the Ravens. But I wonder what was
That
the difference.
dude, Roquan finna get waived next year because they finna pay your boy.
Well, they just gave him 5 years, 100 mil, and I think
Yeah.
45 guaranteed or something like that.
When they paid Lamar, they finna waive him. They taking all that back. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm with you halfway on that because I do believe Roquan is most definitely gonna get 2 years of that deal. He gonna get 2 years out of that deal that he signed. Now, everything after that is gonna be up in the air. Now, the whole Lamar Jackson thing is taking on another. It's becoming a beast of his own. I
You
mean, I
know
don't
that
know if you guys are.
you
And
know how
he don't have an
both
agent
of
either.
y'all, Penn, LA, you know how the NFL work. they gonna bring that man in office like, look, we're gonna have to restructure your contract. You know, we know you all we got this money guaranteed, but how about we chop it up like this? You know what I'm
Talking
saying?
about Roquan, right?
Yeah, we're talking about Roquan because now we got to pay this man. And
Mm-hmm.
Lamar ain't gonna sit back and take no less money than they gave the goddamn Jagoff dude.
Kyler,
What?
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson.
and you got to remember, Kyler just got paid too, and all
Who
them
did?
Kyler Murray and all them
Yep.
clauses he put in his
Yeah.
contract. Lamar, like I've been an MVP.
Yeah. He's not gonna take no less money than that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel
So
you. I feel
Roquan might have put himself. He might have put himself in a tough spot, but it's not our problem anymore. So
you're right.
you know,
You're
it's
right.
not our problem no more.
You're right. I think 2 years down the line, maybe even a year, if they might have to restructure his deal, and good luck with that. But that's just to touch on that. So we all agree that Justin is the future. The 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 the,
He's the
the
future.
roster,
I got
the
another
roster
question. I
has.
got so many questions. I love talking to my Bears fans because I have so many
Hey,
questions. Okay.
yeah,
We got two. We got two free agents. Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery. Who gonna get the money, man?
I think Saquon and Brandon
From the
Jacobs.
Bears. I mean, we
I
got the
know.
money to give.
Yeah, but I think that's gonna be a hefty price tag, and we need so much. I think we might be looking at a situation. I don't think Demo is worth franchising. Maybe he takes a little bit of a hometown discount, but as much as I would like to have Brandon Jacobs over Saquon, I don't.
Pan, you are not the first person I heard that said Saquon is gonna be way too much money.
Too
Like
much.
he gonna be way too much
Too
money.
much. Too much. And he get hurt. He get hurt a lot.
Yeah, but I would take Jacobs.
That's who I want.
I would take Jacob, but who knows? I mean, if Demo, he know what he's worth to this team. But if he come in there acting crazy, especially with Poles, I mean, Poles looking at the offensive line.
yeah.
He ain't looking at no running backs.
And you got to think too, like Khalil Herbert had a way better year.
And yeah, you
And
know,
he's in a rookie deal. So they
right,
might be like, yo, you can
you
walk.
know.
We can go
And
get it.
he's like, hey, I need offensive line. I really don't need. I got Herbert. I got this other kid, Ebner. I need this offensive line. Don't come in here acting crazy.
And I need some receivers.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
I
the
think
crazy part is they got so much money. If they want to, they can go buy Devontae Adams. They can buy anybody they want.
they'd
Because
have
the
to
Raiders
trade.
need a quarterback right now. The
Yeah.
Raiders
They,
need a quarterback. Oh, you
yeah.
need a quarterback? Hey, we got the first round pick right now. What you want to do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We
Yeah.
got them options right now.
It's so much to look at. The Raiders is another team that you. I'm glad you brought that up because the Raiders is another team that that needs a quarterback and maybe even Devontae Adams. Now, if they bringing in a young quarterback, Devontae Adams might be part of the deal as far as bringing him to Chicago with that trade. I can see that.
Right.
But if they bringing in Tom Brady, you can forget all that
Ooh,
because the Tom Brady. I'm talking about the I'm talking
if
about the
that
Raiders.
dude don't retire,
Maybe,
he,
maybe,
he
maybe,
better retire.
And
maybe. But if you know Tom, like we know Tom, and we know Tom as a football player,
And
as far as
everybody do care he gonna go to the Raiders. Everybody keeps saying that too.
look,
But
Tom
he
Brady,
better retire, man.
Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, they do not
They just
like
can't give up.
losing.
Yeah, they can't give up.
So I can see Tom Brady wearing his options for another 2 years just to have the opportunity to go out the way he wants to go out. Now, he don't really have control of that because father time is father time and injury is always a possibility. I touched on this with Penn. Michael Jordan had the opportunity to go out with the shot. He came in with the shot. Mike Jordan out of North Carolina. He had the opportunity to go out in the same style with the shot against Utah in 98. But when Michael Jordan left the Bulls, I think he had so many philosophical differences with the front office. And he just wanted to play. He just had so much more he just needed to prove. And that's when he come back, he played with the Wizards. And it was not the Mike I knew. I appreciate it for what it was worth. And I think that's what Tom Brady is now. Tom Brady had the benefit of going to Tampa Bay and winning the Super Bowl, and he's got this championship this championship pedigree going through his vein, and I believe that's how he want to go out. So I think he's chasing
Yeah,
another Super Bowl, and that's how he want
yeah,
to go out, and
that's
that
his
just might
goal.
not be how it works out.
Yeah, yeah. And to your point though, I think Tom's still playing at a little bit higher level than Mike was at the Wizards.
You're right.
Uh,
Yep, you're right. You're
but
right.
he just definitely need to be in a situation like Tampa Bay had no running game. I don't know if you watched
No, they
they
did
this dude, I think he threw it over 60 times in the playoff game. The last three,
66 times.
Yeah, it
66
he
was
was
times.
throwing the ball over 50 times a game. Like that's not a recipe to win at any level of football. I don't care, and I am a proponent from airing that thing out. Okay, I want to see you throw it all across the lot, but not that much. Not
Right,
that
I
much.
want to see offense, but 66 times. So
I mean,
yeah.
so basically, if you got 90 offensive plays, 66 was passes. Come on, man. You doing that? That's come on, man.
think about
You
how
doing too
easy
much.
that is for a defensive coordinator to scheme up. We know you passing it. We know you passing it. And you ain't got no receiver. So I'm gonna just play coverage all day. All day. All day.
And they whooped them.
And you
They
ain't got no
whooped them.
line either. So I know my front four gonna get home. So, like it's
Hey,
not
did y'all hear what Aaron Rodgers said today?
yeah.
What's that?
Aaron Rodgers said, yeah, I'm gonna take the summer off. I don't know if I'm gonna come back, even if it's with, the Packers, or it could be with some other team. I don't know.
But he still thinks he can play at an MVP level. That's what
Right, right.
he didn't
But
say.
I'm still, so you heard it.
He didn't say
Now
I
this
think I can
dude
win the
just
championship.
signed a 3-year, $150 million contract,
Right.
and then you're gonna say something like that?
He turned into the thing that he hated. He turned into
Come
Brady.
on, man.
The same thing that he hated when he was trying to get the job, he has turned in
Right.
to
When
that.
he was sitting behind Brett Favre, the
He's
same thing he hated, sitting behind Brett Favre. Now he doing the same thing.
It's funny how history repeats itself.
Hey man, competitors are hard to kill. Competitors are hard to kill. Now we are Chicago Bear fans. We do not like Aaron Rodgers, but you
No, I
have to
hate him.
respect. You
I gotta respect him. I mean, the
you
dude
you
cold.
got to
He
respect his
cold.
ability to play the game.
I mean,
So
I
I
like him as a
respect him as a
person, but when he
competitor.
put on that green jersey, no,
See,
yep, break your shoulder.
I'm a little different. As long as he ain't playing us, I'm gonna watch him because I think he's the greatest thrower of the football that I've ever seen. So I'm just watching because I think it's art.
And see,
Aaron Rodgers.
I take Tom Brady. I take Tom Brady before Aaron Rodgers.
Tom Brady's better, but he can't throw it like Aaron. He can't. Aaron is the best
I
that
th-
I've
I,
ever
I
thrown.
think he can, man. I think he put more velocity on the ball. I think he put in a better spot. I think Aaron just make better decisions when he throw the ball. But I
And
think
that's where you got
Tom,
me.
he make decisions where he know I'm so strong, I'm gonna get it to where I got it to go.
Yeah, if it's one game for my life, I want Tom Brady as my quarterback. But just arm talent wise, I think I got to go with Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Yeah, well, this is the all day debate.
Yeah.
we
We can go. This is an all day debate right here.
we might not have time for that, huh?
You can throw Peyton Manning in there. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Um. Okay. This is my perspective on Brady. Brady, for the longest of time, I don't think Brady really cares about how he wins. Meaning, if we got to give it to the back 30 times, as long as the score ends and off the score, if we win the game, we good. But with Aaron Rodgers wants to be the reason why they win. And I think for so many years, that what has held him back. Well, they didn't really commit to the running game in Green Bay until maybe the last 3 seasons. And I think over the last 3 seasons, he's gotten better at accepting the fact that we're going to run the football to win football games. And that's the difference between Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Now,
But
arm
it's just
talent,
funny how everybody just put my boy down, man. Don't nobody even talk about him. And he was like one of the greatest that ever done it.
who's that?
Come on, man. That boy from New Orleans, man.
Drew.
Drew Brees?
That boy was something else, man.
I feel you on that. I mean, I feel you on that. I mean, it's a good thing you brought Drew Brees up. I mean, but
He was 5'9". He couldn't even show over the offensive line.
well,
Still putting
I
it in
get
the
I
still
get
putting
you
it
on
in the
that.
pocket.
If you want to talk about that, we can bring up a lot of guys, and you can talk about Russell Wilson. But what I'm saying is
No.
we we was talking about
We
Tom
gonna
Brady
argue about
and
Russ
Aaron
Wilson.
Rodgers. Drew Brees went
Russell
out.
Wilson, he was a system guy. I don't.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, he was a system guy, if you ask me.
I can't argue with that. Looking at the situation he in Denver, but I mean, I guess we got to give him a couple more years to see how that works out. Uh, Now we get ready to wrap it up. We've been here for about almost approaching 60, and I
Okay.
told you once we get to having fun, man, you know, hey, this what me and Penn go through every night. When do we wind it up? Cause we can go all night.
Hey.
We can go all night. Keep us on task though. Look, man. Some interesting things have
Yeah,
happened in these playoffs.
can't give them too much because they need something else to look for the
Oh,
next
we'll be
day
back.
or the next couple of days.
We'll be back because we got the NFL playoffs to carry us through all the way to the Super Bowl. The NBA is approaching All-Star break soon, and then the trade deadline is coming up. The Bulls. Now, Penn is a Heat fan. Okay, I found out that I wasn't a Bulls fan when
Oh man,
when when
you saw me look at you, right? Straight up.
listen,
Okay,
listen.
okay.
I found out I wasn't a diehard Bulls fan when Michael Jordan retired.
Same here.
But I'm not a fan of, and you know this, both of you guys know this. I'm not a huge fan of any particular team in the NBA.
Yeah,
I'm more of a
you
college.
ain't really feeling NBA period.
Yeah, we gonna touch on that. So, of course, I got my rock ready to go. So we gonna be touching on some hoops real soon down the road. But the Bulls, they in Paris, France. I think they playing the Detroit Pistons, aren't they?
They're playing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be an early game. For
Yeah, I
you, for
think it
those
started
you
2.
2 o'clock. So they in Paris doing it. Carrying the NBA banner over. Worldwide and stuff like that. We gonna touch on the NBA later as we go further into the season. But the NFL playoffs has been interesting.
East
We talked
man?
about Tom Brady. We talked about Aaron Rodgers.
Man, we gonna have to holler about. We gonna touch on that too.
I'm like,
Later
What's
date
that?
too.
he said, well, Heat fan. Like,
Yeah,
I
we gonna
found
touch on that later on too.
What's
out
that?
I was not a Bulls fan. I was a Michael Jordan fan. But the reason I like the Heat, my favorite player was Dwayne Wade. He from the crib, so that's why I
I
began.
mean, yeah. I mean, I can't deny that.
Yeah.
I can't deny that.
Only the third best shooting guard of all time, but
I man, I can't deny that. I can't take nothing from him.
So he brought you up to speed on his fandom for the Heat.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to travel to.
I can't deny that too.
Well,
South Beach. I ain't never
yeah,
been there, but hey, I love to go.
yeah. So Check it out. We
But
got some games
you
coming
know,
up this weekend.
Dwayne Wade ain't there no more.
Yeah,
And his
Hey,
son
but
went to draft. But that's a whole different story.
yeah,
that's all it took though to get him, to embrace the team. Because you remember our boy Darius, one of our former coworkers. He was a Miami Dolphins fan. Do you remember
Yeah, he was.
You
Yeah, he
remember how
was.
Darren said he was influenced to be a Dolphins fan?
No, I don't. How?
Shout out to Darren Jackson. Darren is one of the biggest reasons for me doing this because we would talk so much sports around the job, and he would say, "Man, you need to be, you need to go on camera and do this." But anyway, Darren Darren Jackson was a Miami Dolphins fan. The reason why is because his mom bought him a Miami Dolphins T-shirt when he was a kid, and that's how he became a Dolphins fan.
Well, I can say the same thing, bro.
That's
I
well,
can
hey,
say the same thing. I have a baby picture. Well, my mom bought me not the older, the Bob Greasy when he was the quarterback for the Dolphins. The whole
okay,
outfit, Bob
oh,
Greasy jersey.
uh
And I was supposed to be a Miami Dolphins fan. And my pop said, take that shit
huh. Well, see, your father nipped it in the bud,
off.
but apparently, Dance has been affected, by his mom buying that shirt for the rest of up to this point in his life. You know what I'm saying? But he's a Miami Dolphins fan. He was influenced. That's how he was influenced. My man Penn was influenced to be a Heat fan based on Dwayne Wade.
We
You
always
know what I'm
said he
saying?
was a Michael Jordan fan. He
Yeah.
was a Bulls fan.
And then Dwayne Wade came
And
around. A
then
homeboy Dwayne
Dwayne
Wade.
Wade from the crib.
yeah.
Yeah.
Had to ride with him.
And, all-star status, Hall of Fame status. I mean, I can't deny none of the accolades. You know what I'm saying? I can't deny none of that. So,
Me myself, I'm a Bears fan, and the Bears have taken me through so much to the point where I have nothing left for anyone else.
It's just
Just
Bears, and that's it.
it's
that's
just
what you call
Bears.
die hard right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I'm Bears
We've been
365.
dying hard for a long time, every year.
I'm Bears
And
365.
you
If
know
they
what's crazy? At the beginning of this season, I was watching this dude on YouTube and he was just running down the rankings and stuff for teams. And he said, you know what? Yeah. And the Bears is going to be the worst team in the league this year. I'm like, what? We got Justin Fields. You must be crazy. This before any game was played. How
hey,
we be the worst team in the league? I'm like, oh my God. This
hey,
dude, he whatever. He pissed me off.
hey, and Lovey brought it full circle. He went and he made sure he was the worst team in the league, giving us the first pick in the draft, and
Yeah.
here we are.
They say they mad
First,
at Lovey for winning that game. They said Lovey did that on purpose.
well, I
He
think
said he
Lovey knew
said the
he.
organization didn't want him to win the game, and he made sure they won on purpose.
Well, that's kind of. I feel you on that, but this is my thing with that. As much as we complained about the Bears tanking, whatnot, when you think about it, if you're an NFL football player and nothing is guaranteed next year, what's your incentive to tank? So this is my thing. The Houston Texans quarterback was what's the kid's name? Davis Mills, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so why would Davis Mills tank a game to bring in a better quarterback to come in and take his job? So the guy that caught the touchdown pass, number 88, I forget his name. Everything is on tape. At the end of the season, when you're not in the playoff contention and you are on the field late last 3-4 weeks of an NFL football season and your team is out of contention, every play is still matters because you're on tape. So you got to go to camp somewhere. There's no reason to tank a football game. So
And I look at it
love
like
it.
this, like I don't want to tank no games because I might need 6 more catches to get 75 extra K. You know what I'm
You
saying?
right.
So I'm not tanking nothing. Throw me the ball. You know what I'm saying?
But see, there's another thing too. There's also the narrative that they might coach up a quarterback not to throw you the ball so that you won't get that incentive. That's a whole different conversation. But what
Yeah.
I'm talking about is the player that, like, look, I got to put some good tape down so that I can go somewhere and be in camp next season. This is the reason why I feel like tanking as an individual player, coach, whatever participant is hard to do because to get a draft pick, well, I'm gonna tank so you can bring in my replacement. Come on, man. That's the thing. That's the thing I have a trouble with. But I mean, the the organization playing the low end of the roster, I can understand that portion of the tank.
Well, me personally, I don't think the Bears tanked this year. I think they play hard. I don't
At
think they.
times.
I don't think they actually just. Well, this
At,
last Detroit game, that was just that was
yeah.
that was tanking right there because
And the Vikings. The
that was
Vikings
tanking.
game too.
That was horrible.
Yeah. They finished up with Minnesota. And guys just running around at some point. The last 2-3 weeks of the season was kind of questionable. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. So we're gonna wrap it up because I still gotta know how you guys feel about these upcoming playoff games you got coming up this weekend. Um the Jaguars play on at 3:30. They got the Chiefs. Now the Jaguars going into this game after beating the LA Chargers.
Now you said it right, San Diego Chargers.
The Chargers being up 27
San Diego
0
Chargers.
27-0 found a way to lose this game. And I think they only ran the ball. You up 27 nothing. At some point in time, you got to commit to the run. Now, whether or not they could establish the run game or if they didn't commit to it long enough, they found a way to lose this game.
Well, what I tell you, what I text you, I said, I think it's going to turn into sports entertainment.
Yeah.
So I think NFC wise, it's going to turn into sports entertainment, where like Dallas ends up beating San Fran, and then they go play the Eagles, and that's where the money's going to all be made. But who knows? I'm just guessing that. But
I got my Walt Disney perspective, and Walt Disney would probably like to see the Buffalo Bills get to the Super Bowl.
Nah, man.
they ain't gonna make it.
I can't have Brett Favre go to the Super Bowl. Okay, I cannot.
They ain't gonna make it.
Josh Allen is Brett Favre.
Buffalo ain't gonna make it.
6 weeks right now, and he proved it again on Sunday. They play Sunday, yeah. He had 2 interceptions, 3 fumbles, and somehow they ended up winning the game because they was playing a third string quarterback, and they won by a field goal. This dude is gonna get them beat.
Yeah.
So who you pick? So who you got? I'm picking the Chiefs against the Jaguars on Saturday at 3:30 Central Time.
I'm going with the Chiefs.
Yeah, we going with my homeboy.
Definitely.
And then the nightcap is the Giants and the Eagles.
I'm going with the Eagles.
Yeah, me too.
That's a tough one because they say it's hard to beat a team 3 times. And 2 conference foes.
I think the Giants just blew their load when they beat
the Vikings.
Yeah,
the Vikings the Vikings is the Vikings. They are who they thought we thought.
The Vikings what they call that? They was like they was fake all season. Like they you know what I'm saying? You know the word I'm trying to say? Like they was not real all season.
They was pretenders. They won 11. What is that? 11 one-score games this year. Eventually, that had to come back and bite you. And I don't believe in Kirk Cousins. Like I just don't. Like Washington. It's a reason. It's a reason to watch.
I believe in fantasy.
Yeah.
That's it. Fantasy, I that's my man.
Because he throwing it to
Winning
the
ball games, nah.
yeah, yeah. It's a reason the Washington Redskins football team commanders didn't pay that man. It's a reason. If you got a franchise quarterback, look at the Cowboys. The Cowboys, Dak is not quote unquote a franchise quarterback, but they was like, yo, we got to ride with him. Washington said no to Kirk
Oh,
Cousins.
right, beat it. We'd rather have
Taylor
Carson
Heineke.
Wentz,
Yeah.
Taylor Heineke.
Well, I'm gonna roll with y'all. I'm gonna go with the Eagles over the Giants. In that second game Saturday evening. But I just think the Giants gonna make a game out of it. Uh, because that the Eagles, as we know them right now, are not a successful playoff team. This is not the team that won the Super Bowl years ago.
Right.
They beat
So
us
with the inexperience,
and then won the Super Bowl.
yeah, the
Shit.
inexperience of both teams, the Giants having a lot of success in Minnesota, so they're already accustomed to being road warriors, and they got to be motivated to go into Philly and win. They haven't won in Philly in a long time, but having that game under their belt last week and performing the way they did, I mean, Daniel Jones just looked. He looked. I mean, looked pretty
He
good. I mean,
he
guys was wide open,
he looked
and
like what was he, the fifth pick? He looked like
Name one Giants receiver.
you got me.
Kenny
Who?
Kenny Galladay.
He still play?
Yeah, number 19.
My bad.
Say Saquon Barkley, man. That's all I can tell you. And Daniel Jones. Okay, but however you slice it, they in the game. They there and they playing. They played extremely well in Minnesota. You say you didn't believe in Minnesota. I didn't either, but it's got to be the confidence got to be high going into Philly. But I'm gonna go with Philly. I'm gonna ride with y'all and go with Philly on that. And then two more games on Sunday. You got the Bengals and the Bills in Buffalo. Who you going with?
Brett Favre gonna get him beat. I trust Joe Burrow more than I
I'm
trust.
gonna go with I'm gonna go with Burrow.
All right, you going?
With Burrow.
You're gonna go with the Bengals. So Bengals playing
Ain't
pretty
they
good
playing in
ball.
Cincinnati too?
It's in
The
Buffalo.
game is in Buffalo.
Oh, they're in Buffalo?
Yeah, the game is in Buffalo.
Oh yeah, I'm
Uh,
definitely going with Burrow then.
okay, so uh Cowboys 49ers. I'm gonna go with
Nah,
I'm gonna go with the Bengals myself.
I want it to be I want it to be the money play for the Cowboys, but I don't think they're gonna beat the Niners.
The only don't what's gonna continue to be the wild card for the 49ers is how well the quarterback continues to play.
Yeah.
Oh
Purdy,
yeah, Dak.
Brock
He's
Purdy.
gonna throw 2 interceptions.
Who Dak?
Yeah.
You got Dak throwing too?
He gonna matter of fact, I need to get my goddamn DraftKings up, get my parlay going. Yeah,
Listen to me
I
good.
got him going. He throwing 2 interceptions.
Dak Prescott, when the kicker Mayhar, the kicker, he missed 4 extra points, right?
Four,
And
four.
Dak Prescott had, in my mind, Dak Prescott had a lot of nerve getting mad at that guy.
After all the
Because
interceptions you done threw. Yeah.
yeah, because 2 weeks prior, you throwing pick sixes, you should understand the man more than anybody else on the squad.
Right.
You should be
You
consoling
you
this
thought
guy, getting him up.
you threw it. You almost threw a pick six, got lucky, and then came right back and threw a pick six. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
But the guy Meyer, well, however you pronounce his name, he had a hard time in kicking extra points. I think he ended up making 1 out of the 5 that he attempted. But uh, it's all on Brock Purdy, man.
Damn.
That game right there is gonna pretty much, out of all the games This game right here alone may be more critical when you talk about overall quarterback play because with Dak Prescott having the end of the season woes that he had, and then Brock Purdy just he has to stay consistent with the way he's been playing. But overall throughout the league, Shanahan is the best football coach in football. I mean,
That's
outside of Andy Reid.
But Purdy ain't been caught up with yet, though, bro.
That's
but
what I'm saying.
I don't
That's
think
why I'm giving Shanahan. That's why I'm giving
Yeah,
Shanahan the nod as being one of the second best coach in the NFL right now because he didn't play with three quarterbacks all season, and he's got this team in the hunt and somehow favorite to go to the Super Bowl if not win it. This is the ultimate example of coaching matters right
yeah,
here.
yeah, and if Purdy get off to a shaky start, you got to remember the 49ers probably the best rushing team in the league outside of the Bears. So
true that.
he gonna
True
lean on
that.
that. You gonna get heavy Christian McCaffrey. You gonna get heavy Debo, and you gonna get I don't know the other running back number 25. You gonna get heavy that they play great defense. They physical. He Shanahan not gonna let them lose that game. I
And
trust
to go
Shanahan.
off topic, that boy IU, he a free agent too. He need to come to Chicago. But
Exactly.
anyway,
Exactly.
Yeah.
it's
I
a lot of
trust
stuff going
Shanahan.
on. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
I trust
And
Shanahan.
But yeah,
definitely gonna bring you back.
we done gone over an hour, man.
So yeah, see what I'm saying? Uh, it's been real. I hope you had a great time with us tonight.
Oh man,
Uh,
I loved it, man. Thanks for inviting me on. I
and
appreciate you fellas. I love it.
and
We gonna do this again.
yeah.
Hopefully ASAP.
Oh yeah, we got the playoffs to carry us through. We're gonna be down to the Super Bowl, and maybe even we could talk about this. Maybe even we could get together and watch the game together and set this
Right,
thing up.
right.
And and the Taylor Made Boys, Penn, LA, and my man Cutter Pac-Man. That's the other one. That's his brother. Then we can get him on. But we had to have the pleasure of bringing you on as our first guest. This was something just came up with at the last minute. Thanks, Penn, for on your end being able to pull this off. Because I'm
Oh
still
yeah,
getting caught up.
right, man. You my man, and I'm all with it.
Yeah,
I'm all with it when it comes to football and basketball and sports. I'm all with it.
Yeah.
yeah. So we keeping it real, keeping it improvisation, just coming off the cliff, spontaneous. Um, it's been real, man. To close it out, I'm gonna make this pick. In this Cowboys 49ers game is tough to call because the quarterback play is
Uh-oh.
this quarterback play is gonna be so crucial in this game. But I'm gonna go with the 49ers. Because I just think the ball is going to end up in the right man's hands most of the time. And with Dak,
Like Penn
it
said,
might be the
that
exact
running
opposite.
game, that running game, but they serious with that running game.
Yeah.
And when you
So
got the defense and the running game, that's hard to beat.
now I'm gonna leave some meat on the bone. I'm gonna pick the 49ers, but I'm gonna leave some meat on the bone. I'm gonna set this thing on fire and I'm
Dak
gonna
gonna
leave.
leave the meat on the bone because he gonna throw them two interceptions.
Listen to me good though. As a Bears fan, I would fire Matt Eberflus
Oh my God.
to bring in
Oh my God. Oh my Lord. See?
what's my
Yeah.
man? What's the offensive coordinator name in Dallas?
Uh,
Quinn, not
um,
Quinn.
no,
No, he defense. I know who you're talking about though, the other guy.
no,
Kellen Moore.
The
yeah,
young guy.
yeah,
Yeah, the young guy.
I want Kellen Moore to be the head football coach as the Chicago Bears.
Can
Ryan
the
Poles.
man get more than 1 year, man?
Like, hey, I just lit. Hey, we can talk about it, but I just lit it. I just started a fire.
Listen,
Point
I'm
blank.
Yeah, you did, man. I saw that, man.
So that's something to
Get
sleep
more than
on.
one, yeah.
Something to sleep on.
Look, they gave Mark Trestman 2. Can Eberflus get 1?
What's the man's name in the coach that they fired in Denver?
Nathaniel Hackett.
No, the new guy.
Nathaniel Hackett got fired after a year.
But that dude was terrible. He was horrible.
It's just something to think about, man. We're in a situation where we can turn this all around. If you can get a young, because eventually the Bears are going to have to lean towards some type of offensive coordinator, some type of offensive structure coach. Because we think about
you can't tell me you didn't see Eberflus having that team fight.
I get it. But what I'm telling you is this. If Luke Getsy gets this thing rolling with Justin, guess what's going to happen?
He might become the next head coach.
That's my point exactly. So he may either get hired on somewhere else, or he may end up replacing Eberflus, and it'll be what I'm telling you is we're gonna have to flip this thing to Justin Fields sooner or later. I mean, all the way around the board. Watch the Game podcast, Strangler, Serang Good. Great having you on.
Starang in the house.
Great having you on, man. Thanks for coming on. Thanks, Penn, for plugging him in.
Hey,
you guys got something? I'm ready to roll.
Hey, this is dope. Hey, like, comment, and subscribe. Watch the Game podcast. We appreciate y'all being here with us, and we out.
Hey, peace, love.